lords and ladies. My name is DJ Craigie. I'm here with the Behind the Fang podcast with my awesome guest, Miss Infernal Ming Chow Clementine Twist. It is an honor to have you here today. Well, I should say this evening, right?
This evening, because we're going to go out in the sun. Good evening to you, Lord Sovereign Craig, and good evening to all the children of the night who will come to hear this podcast. And I know my name was a mouthful. I never had realized. You did well with it. And an honor to be here, and thanks for inviting me. Without a formal invite, as you know, I could not have been here this evening. So thank you so much.
You are truly welcome. You know, technicalities, right?
Technicalities. I smell your flesh burning.
Alrighty, so I like to begin with my guests on a very sensitive topic for some, but for some, not at all. I want to know, who's your daddy? Tell me about your embracement, or your birthing into the shadows, as some like to call it.
Well, my sire happens to be the very controversial, you either love him or you hate him, my father, Arch Chino of the Church Horngill bloodline. I was actually re-sired to him in a group setting with some of my family, some of my sisters and friends recently, and I was very honored to have him become my sire. Very pleased to be one of his children. I feel I'm much like him, as in you either love me or you hate me. There really is no in between. So again, that's my sire, and I'm very blessed, honored.
Well, you are very polarizing, so I can see how that can actually be. I'm the same way. You either love me or you hate me.
Correct.
Okay. So tell me about your first time you fed. Was there any memorable experiences on your first hunt, shall we say?
Nothing really as far as my first feed-in. I do not really remember it, to be honest. There was nothing that stands out, nothing that important about it. As far as my first hunt, well, I've been on a lot of hunting excursions, almost all of them with you, Lord Craig. I'm always excited to be out and about in the realm with you, and it would be very difficult to choose just one in particular that stood out above the rest. I do wonder often, though, am I the hunted or the hunter? So I'll leave you with that thought.
Well, I must agree to that because I often wonder that myself, but I prefer to be the hunter. In Speaking of which, alright, so no memorable first feeding experience, okay. However, tell me about your first fang bang, or your first confrontation with another vampire.
Fang banging. Well, the first time I was attacked, I do believe, was at a club with you on the dance floor, a very popular nightclub. At the time, you were of an enemy clan. Well, and I do believe you still are, but this was another enemy clan, and of course, I will not speak that name. In any case, we were at the club, and one of your clanmates came up to me and bit me, and was shouting in local something in Spanish at me. And as you know, I don't speak Spanish. But I did bite him back, and he was quite shocked. But then, sadly, before I had a chance to tangle with him much more, you and someone else who shall remain nameless knocked him off of me. And it was a really fun night. It's a good memory. I did get an apology from him. I myself do not make apology for the bite he received back. In truth, I'm not really one for combat, and it's rare that I do get attacked. But I'm sure now that I've said that, I'm sure I'll be attacked more often. This is the part where you laugh, Lord Craig.
Well, I must admit, it is very fun to catch someone out and about. But that's part of the game we all
Indeed.
sign up for. It's part of the risk, and also, in my opinion, it's part of the fun. I mean,
It is. The danger, the excitement of it all.
well, exactly.
Living on the edge of the night.
Yep. If you're going to be immortal, embrace it.
Absolutely.
With knowledge comes great power. With your current status, which is infernal, what have you learned about progeny and, well, roleplay in general?
Well, I am currently an Infernal under Diabolic Porthenia Church Horngold. That is correct. Assisting her as the magazine creative director, which, as a wannabe writer specializing in tragic romance in all matters of the heart, I absolutely love. I also assist with a Ravage, writing the Savage Ravage report, and I have learned so much from Diabolic Porthenia. She really is one of my favorite people in all the realm, and has given to me a huge opportunity to express my creative side here in the vampire realm. I do also want to give credit to mention another amazing person, Diabolic Lucifer, who has always inspired me and mentored me. I admire his work as an exceptionally talented writer. You can pick up a copy of the last edition of the magazine and read about many great people, lots of amazing interviews, the social pages, and of course the fiction section where many talented people showcase their writing talents. You can find some of the work of Diabolic Lucifer on the World Anvil website, Progeny Universe, and the Savage Ravage report can be found on the Progeny forums. Also, you and I have a special project, the Coffin Chronicles. You do some amazing photography, and I write the story that goes with it, virtual storytellers, and you can find episode 1 and 2 on my Flickr, and also in your Progeny Playground Discord group. If you need any help, any assistance with the links or finding these places I've mentioned, I'm sure Lord Craig or myself would be happy to assist you. And there is just 2 more people I'd like to mention, because I do a lot of other things for the community as well. I work for a lot of other great people, like Queen Rose, the owner of the Diabolic Park, assisting the community to experience the arts and culture side of Progeny, which is her vision, and also the Orientation Guild under Principal Director Infernal Morpheus, assisting him in his vision, which is to educate the community. And I do feel truly blessed to know and work under some of the most amazing people in all of the game.
Well, I must admit, we see you everywhere, from PV Chat to the Scribes Guild to the museum to the Orientation Guild to even on the battlefield. So you are a very recognized figure in the community, and I just want to give you a big shout out and thank you for all your work, and also to the people you've mentioned for their hard work. And if you ever need to learn anything about the whole Progeny system as a whole, make sure you check out the Scribes Guild. The bookcases, although a little dusty, they contain some pretty good information, I would say.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. Amazing place to read about the history of Progeny and to gain the knowledge that you seek to empower yourself.
Very much agreed. And they say, time is an illusion. Since we are immortal, tell me, as a vampire, what do you live for? I mean, we live forever, so what drives you to essentially get out of the coffin every evening?
Ah, well, that would be love, of course. Is there anything else worth living for when you are a monster and have to walk the earth for all of eternity as a bloodthirsty, savage creature of the night? How romantic it does sound. Next question.
Well, amen to that answer. So my past is everything I failed to be. What scars do you have from your time in Progeny? Or are there any regrets or any, if you could alter the path you took throughout the past, is there any route you would rather have taken or any regrets you have?
Well, I have many personal scars that are certainly battle worthy, both past and present in the game. And the one thing I will share, the one regret I do have, is that I waited so long to get involved more in depth in the system. I could have been working a lot longer than I have been. I had a bad experience back in February, and it drove me to become more involved in the different organizations within Progeny. My actual embrace date was back in September of 2018. However, I did not start to seek work or formally work on my house until around March of 2019. So, with that being said, who knows what more I could have accomplished had I started way back when. And I do believe everything happens for a reason in both realms, a strong believer in fate and destiny, all of that. So going forward, my advice to you all, I encourage you all in the realm to be active, to seek work that you enjoy here and enjoy the evolution of your characters. Do not have that same regret that I do. Be active and get involved today. Enjoy your character. Enjoy your role play.
I agree 150% on that. As any of my friends, family, children, that's what I tell them the most is embrace your character. Really enjoy it, bring it to life, and you'll see some amazing things. Like much in the
Absolutely.
world, if you do it halfway and just give half the effort, well, you know.
You get back what you put into it. It's up to you. The choice is yours.
Well, exactly. And I have one final question for you, Infernal Ming,
Yes,
if I
Lord
may.
Craig.
Throughout the vampire lore and the media, what influenced you the most to create your character and mold her the way she is today?
Well, originally, my character was designed from Meng Chao from the Vampire the Masquerade. It's a PC game in that other realm. Meng Chao is a creature of extreme power and intelligence. In the game, she's aloof and calculated. I really find those qualities to be enchanting, certainly deadly. I also really admire the character of Lois Lane, even though she's not vampire associated, but I like to incorporate a bit of her in my character. I'm a big fan of Anne Rice, Interview with a Vampire, Blade, of course, and The Lost Boys, Queen of the Damned. So it's a combination, really, of a lot of things that I've read or watched that kind of caught my eye, took that I fancy, and so it's a combination, really, of all of those combined. And of course, my character is ever evolving based on the experiences that she has here, based on new paths that she takes, new frontiers that she forges. My character will always be changing. And so, yeah, it's kind of like a choose your own adventure.
Well, I totally agree. You have to always be evolving and always change it up a little bit.
Absolutely.
I mean, family loyalties always remain the same, but your character, it's always good to switch it up.
Agreed.
And I'm the same way. I personally have based my character off of several characters from my past. I would have to say one of my iconic figures would have to be Eric Northman from True Blood, as he was an amazing vampire, and Lestat from Anne Rice's Interview with a Vampire.
I love both those characters. And I can see the resemblance.
Well, that's what you do. You see your character and mold it into yourself in a way that you want. It's actually quite, I don't know, it's quite just a lot of fun. So I appreciate
It's a
your...
very immersive experience. It's enjoyable.
Well, it really is. You get really immersed into it and you enjoy it. And then you'll be looking at the clock going, it's 5 a.m.?
Well, after all, we are vampires.
Well, that's right. You don't go to bed till the sun comes up.
That's right.
Speaking of which, sadly, I see a little glow in the offset, so it has been a true honor to have you here as my first guest on the Progeny Behind the Fang podcast, Miss Infernal Ming. I thank you very much, and good luck with your endeavors, and stay safe and stay fed.
Thank you so much, and I've truly enjoyed this, and I do enjoy being your first. I feel very special and honored, so thank you so much for inviting me, and, be safe in the shadows, and until we meet again.